Animal Crossing first came out for the Nintendo GameCube back in 2002, I absolutely fell in love with the game. There was so much to do, it was ridiculous. I thought this game couldn't get any better, but then it did. In 2005, Animal Crossing Wild World came out for the DS, not only making the game portable, but also making it online as well. When I heard about the City Folk coming to the Nintendo Wii, I was pumped to see what else they were going to do to the series. I bought it, played it, and sadly enough, I hate to admit, I was a little disappointed. It's still a good game, but it just didn't feel the same way as I did when I played the other Animal Crossing games. Here's my review. Story. When you first start the game, you meet Rover, and he helps you get ready for your town by asking a series of questions that determine what your character will look like and what the name of your town will be. When you finally make it to town, you have to find a house, meet your neighbors, and do a part-time job for Tom Nook. Does this all sound familiar to you? After this point, you can pretty much do whatever you want in the game. Make money, go fishing, bug catching, run errands, donate to the museum, town, or even upgrade your house. There's so much to do, it's hard to explain, but in terms of story elements, you pretty much can do whatever you want. Gameplay. The gameplay hasn't changed much in City Folk. You're still going to get the same style of interactive play in a City Folk as you would in any other Animal Crossing game, which isn't a bad thing really, but to the veteran players of the Animal Crossing series, it can get old and tedious. That's not to say that new players won't enjoy this game. In fact, if you're new to the series, this game is excellent. It's pretty much like living in a second life in a peaceful town full of animals, with human characteristics. The animals act as your neighbors, allowing you to interact with them in many ways. You can send them letters or gifts, do them favors, or even help them decide to come up with new phrases to say. And they of course in return will do favors for you. Sometimes. Also, they occasionally will play games like hide and go seek with you, making neighbor interactions more full in this version of Animal Crossing. Aside from that, Animal Crossing is full of things to do. There's just too much to explain. The furniture you gain is used to decorate your house internally. Some furnitures are interactive, providing a brief animation of what they represent. This game is strongly based on collecting items and furniture. You will most likely rely on bells, the game's form of currency, to assist in gaining the said items and furnitures. Bells also assist in upgrading your house to a higher level, to upgrading your own town by adding a new bridge, a fountain, or even helping out a distant town, which doesn't really benefit you much, but it's a treat for all those completionists out there. This game is ran by the internal clock of the Nintendo Wii, which is used to further increase the realism in the game. For instance, if you play the game at 9:30 in the morning, it will be 9:30 morning time in the game. Same with other times during the day. The game still plays even when the console is off. As time goes by, so do things in the game. For instance, the seasons change according to what season it is on the calendar. Also, certain events that go on during certain days of the week occur in real time, such as Kyoslicer's visit to the cafe and Joan's Sunday visit for turnip sales. Other events happen on certain days throughout the year, like the fishing tournament and the time Jingle comes to visit, but I won't spoil them all for you. And plus, it would take a good while to explain each and every event. All this makes Animal Crossing City Folk seem like a full-packed game, and it is. But to those who have previously played Animal Crossing games, they're pretty much aware of all this, and it's nothing really new in the series. There are a few new things like the city, which allows you to visit a lot of the helpful characters from previous Animal Crossing games, like Red and Dr. Shrunk, without too much hassle. Others include Harriet's Hair Salon, which lets you change your hairstyle and put on your personal me face on your character to make it more personal, and Katrina's Tent, all making an appearance in the city, giving you easier access to them. The method for visiting other towns haven't been changed from the DS version. You still have to register friend codes and all that stuff, and you still just roam around collecting items and whatnot in your town for use in your own town. The Wii Speak allows you to communicate with your friends through voice chat while you visit their town, which is pretty neat and will pick up your voice pretty well anywhere in the room.
On my store, there's a special on of furniture, and it's the White King. 8,000 bells.
Why they couldn't include this voice chat feature in the DS version is a mystery to me, but hey, it's all cool here. Speaking of Wi-Fi, you can now send letters and gifts to your friends that reside in other towns without actually having to visit their town. This game just feels like a minorly updated Wild World to me, and to tell the truth, I kinda feel like I've been ripped off. But remember, I am a veteran Animal Crossing player. Again, if you're new to the series and you pick up this game, you won't regret it as much as a veteran player would. Graphics. It's no doubt that this being on the Wii will of course bring some graphical improvements, but the textures look all pretty much the same. In fact, even the DS version has great similarities to the City Folk. Everything remains simple though. After all, in a game all about living in a virtual life, there really isn't much to say about the graphics, as long as everything looks like it's supposed to. Fruits, furniture, houses, fishes, bugs, everything. Even though most of the elements in this game are fantasy related, they won't matter much when it comes to the graphics, so I can't really say much about the graphics. Sound. The sound quality of this game is pretty good. The music that plays in the background, which changes every hour, sounds relaxing and sets the mood for the time of day. You may think the music can get annoying, but it's actually not that bad, at least not to me. But one thing that does get very annoying, and I'm sure a lot of you might know what I'm talking about, is the animal voices. Sure, it may be cute to some people, but to others, it gets very nerve-wracking. Thankfully, you can change the way the animals speak in the game, so if you like the sounds, you can keep them. If not, you can turn them off. It's your choice, so everyone's happy in the end. Kyoslicer's music sounds like generic versions of vast genres he creates, but they still sound cool nonetheless. So, in conclusion, Animal Crossing City Folk for the Nintendo Wii has some pretty interesting new features. The Wii Speak is a great way to communicate without having to use a keyboard. The city makes things more convenient to access, and all the addicting things you've grown to love about the Animal Crossing games are available to you in City Folk. That is, if you're willing to go through it all again. Unfortunately, those are the only redeeming features of this game to the veteran players. Since this game brought forth mixed feelings for me, I'm going to have to give it a mediocre score of 7.0 out of 10. If you're a veteran Animal Crossing player, I recommend you rent this game first and see if you'll come to appreciate its new features. If you're new to the series, however, I highly recommend you check out this game. You'll most likely put forth hours upon hours into this game, if you're into collecting things and Second Life type games. So anyway, that wraps up my review. I hope you guys found it to be helpful in some way, and until next time guys, keep gaming.